Well, there you are. Again, Charlie Greer Podcast. I do this every day today. So, concert ticket stub memories. But before we do, please like, share, and subscribe. If you want to support the channel, the information's in the description for Cash App. My handle is Charlie Greer Podcast. And for Zelle, it's my email. It's all in the description. Let's do this. So, I found this envelope full of ticket stubs from like basically the 80s. I guess they're all going to be in the 80s. I found it like last month when I was looking for my birth certificate to get like the new ID or whatever it's called. Went through everything, couldn't found everything except my birth certificate. I had to order one for $48. Then so I was gonna do this. I was like, hey, I'll run these ticket stubs. I didn't even look in them. I saw that what they were, and I didn't. I was like, I'll do this on air. I want to get the reaction of Then I forgot. So so I haven't seen this since honestly, I probably haven't looked at these since I was probably a late teen. I knew where they, I knew they I had a box full of memories, mementos, and but I haven't went through these. So I wanted to get a reaction, like a just my reaction on live, like live. I didn't want to be, oh well, see. So first up, oh shit, it's a football game. Jets versus the Falcons. It was November 9th, 1986. I remember this. We went to Atlanta for some reason, went to a football game. November 6th, no, November 9th, 1986. I mean, yeah, I kind of remember the game, but anyway. What's next here? Let's see. Laugh tracks. Tom Kenny. See some of these. Okay, so I don't know what's in here. Union Station. This is in St. Louis, February 9th, 1996. Tom Kenny. You guys can see that. Tom Kenny. So who's Tom Kenny? I think Tom Kenny is the voice of, he's a comedian. He's the voice of SpongeBob. And I used to go see a lot of comedians. There might be some comedian stubs in it. Who knows? But yeah, he was in Shakes the Clown. Oh my God, that's a great movie with Bobcat Goldthwait. But I like Tom Kenny. And I think that same night it was either Patton Oswalt or Janine Garofalo. I'm pretty sure. Could be. So let's see what we got here. What in the world? Alice Cooper. Wow. November 26, 1987. Alice Cooper. No, I saw Alice Cooper twice. I think Faster Pussycat opened this show. Great show. He either hung himself or he decapitated himself. He had the guitarist Kane Roberts, who was all muscle bound. It had like a machine gun guitar, kind of cheesy. I wish I could have saw Alice Cooper back in the day, 70s, but I didn't. Great show, great stage show, and I'm pretty sure it was Faster Pussycat, who I thought were awesome, and he didn't give them any stage. I mean, they were complaining. So Alice Cooper. Let's see what else we got here. Oh yeah. What's the date here? Oh, this is my birthday. Rat. January 29th, 1987. So my birthday's January 29th. This might have been when they shot the Slip of the Lip video, because I was there. This was the Dancing Over cover tour. I'm pretty sure Poison opened this show. Great show. And I forgot it was on my birthday. Great night. Municipal Auditorium, Nashville. Yeah, this was Rat, and I'm pretty sure it was either Queensryche or Poison that opened the show. I'm thinking this was Poison. They shot the Slip of the Lip video. If you Poison and Rat, that again, I like all kinds of music. This is probably one of the best concerts I've ever been to. Just because there were so many girls and such a party atmosphere, and people were like, 19, January 29th, 1987. I forgot that was my birthday. Good birthday. I love Rat. I love Poison. I mean, granted, I don't listen to it all the time, but yeah, great show. Matter of fact, one of the best shows I've ever seen was this Rat show with Poison when they shot The Slip of the Lip. Just because, for one, it was an awesome show, but also it was because the whole 80s vibe, the fun, the this and that, before all the shoegazing, belly aching grunge shit kicked in that I couldn't stand, man. Fuck. Oh, wow. 1987, One for the Sun. So this was at the Starwood Amphitheater. I don't know if it's still there or not in Nashville. So it's like kind of a shed, like a big open, part of it's covered, and then it's most of the seats are outside on a hill, so they could probably fit man 20, 30, 40,000 people, who knows. And this one was featuring Eddie Money. I don't think I stayed for Eddie Money. I don't think that because we got there during the day. It was blistering hot, and we you know good times though. I remember this, and there was a One for the Sun 87, so I think it was like, God, who knows? Autograph, I think, was playing that day. Steppenwolf. Eddie Money headlining. One for the Sun, 1987. Good times. Well, let's see here. I don't even know. Oh, Loverboy. So let me just explain. I was a big Dokken fan. I was big in the George Lynch, the guitarist of Dokken. And this was in 86, August 14th, 1986. So for some strange reason, I know that Dokken had platinum albums. They're opening for Loverboy. What? Loverboy? So the only way we could see Dokken was going to these Loverboy concerts, which we immediately left. We never watched Loverboy. We'd see Dokken. As soon as they're done, bye. We'd hit the road. Some Civic Coliseum. Who knows? But yeah, Dokken. Those were great shows. Seeing Dokken in 86, awesome. Didn't care for Loverboy. I mean, why they were playing with Loverboy, I'll never understand. Like, Loverboy is more of a commercial kind of. Dokken were rocking. And this is the thing. I didn't see Loverboy, but I'm sure they blew Loverboy off the stage. I mean, George Lynch is still one of my favorite guitarists. A few years back, how many years has it been? It's been a minute. Maybe 6 years. I don't even know. It's been a while. George Lynch had started a company, Mr. Scary Guitars. And at the time, I was collecting a lot, selling a lot of guitars. Like, I was just basically doing that for a living. That was my hustle. It was like, guitar. I'd sell. I mean, you'd not believe how many I would sell or sold. Then I found the website. I heard about it, read about it on Blabbermouth or something, and I almost bought one. It was only like $1,800, which is a lot of money for it, but it was like custom made by him, all cool looking and burnt. And now those things go for like, fuck, a lot of money, 10 grand, 20, who knows? Those original Mr. Scary guitars. I should have bought one. And this is why I didn't. It had a Floyd Rose on it. I'm not a really Floyd guy, and almost bought it. Live and learn. All right. Let's see what we got here. Motley Crue. Girls, Girls, Girls Tour. July 7th, 1987. Motley Crue. Yeah. I think Whitesnake opened for them. Let's see, which one is this? Yeah, Whitesnake opened for Motley Crue. Girls, Girls, Girls Tour. Again, the 80s, being a teenager. So I was 16 in 1987. Yeah, 16. Yeah, 16. Again, if you weren't there in the 80s, I feel sorry for you, man. It was awesome. We had a lot of freedom. Um, Kids weren't like as, at the times were different. I love Motley Crue, and we followed Motley Crue around when they during the Girls tour. We went to like 2 or 3 other concerts. There might be more Motley Crue stubs in here. Um, didn't care much for Whitesnake because I'm just not like they're more like a radio friendly. And here I go again. I'm not. I know they're good, I guess, but and honestly, I wasn't happy with the Girls album. I was like, what is this? But I was still a fan, and I like the whole attitude and still a Motley Crue fan. Mostly those first 2 albums I really love. Great times. I remember that show. Let's see here. Motley Crue. Another Motley Crue. See that? This was in Knoxville. So yeah, this is the first one we went to. Guns N' Roses opened for Motley Crue. We didn't know. Does this say LA Guns on it? I could have swore this said LA Guns on it. Anyway, we drove from outside of Nashville to Knoxville, me and a buddy and some friends, just raising hell and being stupid teenagers. And I gotta say though, I mean, it was awesome to see the Girls tour, excuse me. But Guns N' Roses blew them off the stage, and I'd never heard of Guns N' Roses. Like we lived in a small hillbilly town, no record stores. I'd never, and I could have swore it said L.A. Guns, but it's ripped. It might have. We were thinking it was a band called L.A. Guns. Like, who the fuck is L.A.? And again, Guns N' Roses come out. Like, what is this? What are we seeing here? Like, is this the future? I guess it was. Killer show though. Motley Crue was, and of course, I got to admit, we were underage drinking back then. I mean, pardon me. And it's what you did, Looking back, should I have? No. Did I? Yes. No, you live and learn. Great times. We got pulled over for speeding, and my buddy got a ticket. And I just remember Guns N' Roses and Slash came out. Like the lights went up. Slash came back out on stage where the roadies were tearing stuff down, and on a microphone, like, "Hey man," holding a T-shirt and like a handle of Jack Daniels, like a gallon or something. This is our first T-shirt. I designed it. Woo! And they pulled him back. He came back out. Like, yeah, it was awesome. Didn't know who he was. Like, what? Who is this? Again, he looks like Cousin It. Like, great memories. That's one of the best shows I've ever seen. Guns N' Roses for Motley Crue. Because again, we were like, who is this band? Who are they? The next day, well, we found out. We went and bought Appetite for Destruction. We all got the cassette. Huh? What? See, awesome. I remember hearing whatever. This album was like, at the time was stellar. My Michelle. I remember My Michelle. It's like it started like the second side of the cassette. Put that on, and immediately learned it by ear. Sitting there with my cassette. Like, and my friend's like, I can't believe you learned that. Like, well, I mean, pretty easy, kind of. So what is this? This is so fat. This is so faded, I can't even read it. Who knows? It could have been, On to the next. Oh, this is a good one. Aerosmith with Guns N' Roses. My God. Again, one of the best concerts I ever saw. Star Wars Amphitheater, September 2nd, 1988. Dude, I remember this because this was kind of like the last concert I saw before my life changed because my dad died like a couple weeks later. maybe 2 weeks, the next week, who knows, so I went from like this super high, like Guns N' Roses, Aerosmith, and then my dad died. But yeah, this was a great show. Starwood Amphitheater. So again, it's like one of these big shed shows where there's like probably 10,000 people underneath the shed, and then up on the hill there's probably another 20,000 or something. And you could bring your blanket and lay around. This is a great show. We got there early. They let us in like an hour before, and people were like, it was a great show. And again, like I was 17. No bottles, cans, or cameras. We had all that, come on. No bottles, cans, or cameras. Well, that's all we brought. So we wrapped it in our blanket. But yeah, Aerosmith, Guns N' Roses, great show. Great show. Again, the end of my innocence, though, because a couple weeks later, I'd be like, kicked in the nuts by life. My dad died. Let's see here. Oh, it's another Aerosmith, Guns N' Roses. I don't know why I have two of these stubs. Who knows? I wonder if these are worth anything. Wonder if these things are worth. It could be. Got an extra one. Let's see. Oh, University of Illinois Assembly Hall, Bon Jovi. University Assembly Hall, Bon Jovi. When was this? March 29th, 1989. So after my dad died, I moved to Champaign-Urbana, Illinois. The Assembly Hall is like the big humongo dome there, like the only place in town that had, and I wasn't a Bon Jovi fan. Matter of fact, I saw them open for like 38 Special, which might be in this. And I wasn't going to go. So my sister bought tickets. I'm like, man, I'm not going to see Bon Jovi. Oh, and Skid Row opened the show, who I like better than Bon Jovi, but I'm not a big Skid Row fan either. The singer came running out and kicked like this cup of beer or something and literally like slid off the stage. Sebastian Bach, and then they had to get him back on. He's like laughing. Hey, I mean, it was a good show. I think this was the Slippery When Wet tour, maybe, perhaps. Big show. But when Bon Jovi came, I had to wait for my sister. I went walking around. This is a funny story. I went walking around the Assembly Hall because I didn't want to watch Bon Jovi. I went for my sister. I was like, I'll meet you out front, smoking cigarettes and stuff. And I met this girl from like Mattoon, Illinois or something like that. And we, hit it off, and we're like making out, like we're in love, So the show's over. Here's my number, this, that, and the other. I never saw her again. Never, for some reason, I don't know. She never called me back. I don't even remember. Years later, this is I shouldn't say much, but years later, in the same area, this guy had a record label, and I don't remember if he was interested in signing me, something like that. And we were, hanging out, and I was with, I don't remember, my band, something like this. It's kind of foggy, but his wife is there, and she's beautiful, and she's like, how do I know you? I'm like, I don't know. She didn't look familiar to me. She's like, you're the guy from the Bon Jovi concert. You're the guy I made out with. And I'm like, what, who? Yeah, I guess if you think, I remembered, I was like, oh shit, that Bon Jovi Skid Row concert. He's married to her, man. He got mad. He never talked to me again. But it's like, dude, she's the one that brought it up, I think he was going to sign my band. And see, these things just happen. It's rock and roll. I'd never seen her again. That happened when we were like teen. What was I, like 18 or something? 17? Who knows? But yeah, he was mad. Steve Winwood. Oh, I remember this one. Steve Winwood with Johnny Clegg and Savuka. What the? August 6, 1988. So I totally remember this because we were bored. It was like a Saturday. Yeah, it was a weekend out of school. We're bored, nothing to do. And a friend's father's like, "Hey, I got these Steve Winwood tickets for tonight. I'm not going. Do you want to go?" And I'm like, "Well, Steve Winwood, you know, what did he play? Mandolin Rain, listen to that, something like that." And I'm like, we're like, let's go. Why not? And I think he gave us gas money and everything. So we went. Was at the Starwood Amphitheater. Now these were good tickets. These were like damn near front row. Like right up front. And they you go, have to show your tickets. They sit you down. The concert had already started. We didn't see the opening band. Steve Winwood was already going on. We sat there. We listened to a song. We're like, you know what? We're no. Let's go. We immediately walked out of the Starwood Amphitheater, which takes like a half an hour to an hour just to get through the crowd, this, that, and the other, get into the parking lot, get home. By the time we were home, we were like cruising the strip. This is in Smithville, Tennessee. So everybody cruise the strip. Like, what are you guys doing? We already told you about going to this concert. We're back. Like, man, it was Steve Winwood. We're not gonna. Sorry, Steve Winwood. I mean, just it just wasn't for us. I mean, we shit. Not our thing. So let's see what this is. Okay. I guess this is an Illini game. No. Yes. It was a Illini game. So I guess the Fighting Illini, University of Illinois versus Purdue, October 8th, 1988. So yeah, that was right after my dad died. I must have just moved to Champaign. How I know it's Champaign is because Garcia's Pizza. I used to love Garcia's Pizza. I have no memory of this. Because we used to go to games. We'd get like tickets or they'd give us tickets. Who knows? I'd go. Yeah. Illini versus Purdue. Oh yeah, here we go. Judas Priest with Crocus. This was the Turbo Lover tour. I'm your turbo. Huge stage with a robot with arms. All right, August 22nd, 1986. So, okay, first of all, this was a great night. Awesome. It's raining, so my dog is going to be kind of scared. It's okay. So, Judas Priest, Crocus. Crocus comes on and starts making fun of like Southerners, like making fun of like hillbillies or whatever. And man, they got booed off. What that shit, And it was a Starwood Amphitheater. There was a ton of people there. Turbo Lover tour. Crocus weren't that good. They and they also started making fun of the South. They started complaining that I couldn't believe it. I was like, what are they talking about? And I guess they're German or Swedish or something. So it's all like, yeah, stupid hillbilly. No, get down. It's okay. Yeah, she's scared of rain. Get down. So, fuck you. Like people started throwing shit. I mean, they had to leave the stage. Judas Priest comes on and it's awesome. I mean, again, they had this stage that was like a robot and each side had these arms, kind of look like and so I'll never forget this. The guitarist, the brown-haired, tall, skinny guy, Glenn Tipton, I think his name was. They're doing this, one blonde-haired guitarist is on one hand of the robot, the brown-haired guy is the other, and they're going like this, and they go all the way up. And somehow he and he falls. I'm talking about like Man, we thought he was dead. Like, oh my God, thousands of people scream. And like feedback and the guitar is still going or whatever. And then we see these roadies literally pushing him back up. And people are like, screw yeah, yeah, yeah. And he just finishes the song. Like he's out of tune and stuff, but man, he's a road dog. Like he fell. I'm not kidding you. It seemed like as high as a telephone pole. Like he just, like maybe someone caught him. I don't know. Maybe there was a mattress down there. Who knows? But I thought he was dead. They didn't stop. They didn't even stop the show. They're like, oh, well, and then like four dudes pushing him back up on stage. He got back up and just kept on again. People were clapping and he was like, yeah, crazy. Live to play another gig. All right. So here we go. Oh, another. See, okay. Loverboy and Dokken. This is another. So we followed Loverboy and Dokken because I was a big Dokken fan. This is July 22nd, 1986. So that tour, I forgot. This is like Under Lock and Key, I think it was. They're opening for Loverboy, which was a big concert. Loverboy used to be huge, right? But why would you want Dokken opening for Loverboy? Like Starwood Amphitheater. I remember this show. This was a great show. Again, we only stayed for Dokken. I'm standing up the whole time, like air guitaring. At that time, my dad, he was cool enough to buy me a Kramer with the Floyd. See, back then I wanted a Floyd. It was a sparkle red Kramer, one pickup, one volume knob, Floyd Rose, and I was the only one that I knew like that had one. So everybody that knew, oh my God, like everybody wanted to play that. Even country hillbilly dudes that I knew, they'd come over to the house like every day. People wanting to check this guitar out. And I wanted to learn, so I come on over. So we went to see Dokken, and I remember, great show. And we were on the lawn. Again, it's an outdoor thing with a shed and then a big grass and a hill, tens of thousands of people. And we're like, no, let's not stay for Loverboy. This is the second time we did. I don't even know how many times we saw Dokken. We followed them anywhere they went. We would just to see Dokken. We're huge Dokken fans. Okay. REO Speedwagon. April 2nd, 1987. So, you're a teenager. I was 16. Nothing to do in this small town. Every weekend in Nashville, there's concerts, especially back then. So what are you going to do? Who's playing? REO Speedwagon? Well, let's go. I don't remember much of this concert. And I think the reason we kind of tipped towards going was the girls are going to be there. Like, there's going to be a ton of girls. Let's go. Okay, fine. We're going to. I don't remember. And I don't even remember who opened for them. I have no idea. Does it say? $14, tax included. Wow, the good old days. Have no idea who opened for. Don't remember. Kind of glimpses of, no, don't remember who. So I guess that wasn't too. The strange thing is, REO Speedwagon is from Champaign-Urbana, which I've moved to in a couple of years. That's another story I should tell someday. Okay, Alice Cooper. So I saw them. I saw him twice. This was. What is the date here? January 2nd, 1987. Friday. So I remember that one time Faster Pussycat opened for him, and the next time was either one of the Faster Pussycat opened for Alice Cooper, and then who was the other opening band? I have no idea. And again, I don't know which concert this was where one time he hung himself, faked hanging himself, and the other time he cut his head off. And this was on two different tours. I forgot the albums or whatever. It wasn't the same tour. Again, he had that muscle-bound, muscular guy, Kane Roberts, and the guys from Winger, the bass player from Winger, the singer. He was in the band. I was like, who's this ballerina up there? Like, doing the splits and this, that, and the other. And they had him on this like kind of level thing, like a stage. He didn't run around the stage. Again, I forgot who. Could have been Faster Pussycat. Could have been, I don't even remember. Great show. Yeah, Alice Cooper. I loved Alice Cooper. I love Alice Cooper. Yeah, we followed him too. Anytime he would come around, we'd go to Alice Cooper. All right. July 27th, 1986. Ozzy Osbourne and Metallica opened for Ozzy on this tour. It was Metallica. They were on the Master of Puppets tour. I totally remember this show because I knew who Metallica were, and I'd had the Kill 'Em All and I think Ride the Lightning, but I was, it's just like a little bit of, hey, what a huge fan, what a Metallica. I mean, I did have the albums, but they have diehard fans. I remember this show because I loved Ozzy. He came down in this swing like a bat. The bat opened its wings. He's sitting there. But before, when Metallica were on there playing, James Hetfield's arm was in a sling. He had a cast, and his roadie was playing guitar for him. And I remember James Hetfield goes, "Hey, don't drink beer while you're skateboarding." I remember that. And this is right before Cliff Burton died. I remember right after this concert, maybe a couple weeks, maybe a month, who knows? He was dead. Like, we just saw them, and quite honestly, they were getting booed a little bit at the people wanted Ozzy. Ozzy's fan. Ozzy. Another crazy thing about this is we took my dad, and he loved Ozzy, but it was just getting loud. He was an older guy, so he went to hang out in the outside the indoor area. You can walk around, and he's gonna go smoke cigarettes or whatever. And I went out to check on him in between, like, I guess. No, he didn't like Metallica. That's it. So he was going for Ozzy. Went out there. He's hanging out with God, what was his name? He was the vice president for Bill Clinton. He was like a senator for Tennessee. Whatever. Anyway, and his wife had done the PMRC. And like, what are you doing here? I thought you guys were against it. Oh no, our kids are rock and roll fans. That's just politics. Al Gore. My dad was hanging out with Al Gore. He might have knew Al Gore or something. I don't know. They were sitting there all chatty. Al Gore. Crazy, strange, mysterious world we live in. True story. Okay. When was this? Doesn't say. Ronnie James Dio. Ronnie James Dio. So it isn't even Dio. It's Ronnie James Dio. I love Dio. This was the Sacred Heart tour, I think. Because I saw it. I've seen Dio twice. I think this was the one where Accept opened up for him. And Accept are on like camo and, balls to the wall, Funny thing, I remember this show because there was a booner in the crowd that sat by us. And a booner is like the drunkest dude, in the crowd is we used to call them booners because there's a lot of Southern drunk, they're a booner, we call them. And here comes this booner, and he's just like a redneck booner, and he pulls out this big thing like Jim Beam, I think it was, and he's still drinking. So they come over and like take his booze, but they let him stay, and he's sitting like 3 seats in front of us, and he passes out like before the show even starts, even before Accept. And he's like leaning over, he's got his new Ronnie James Dio t-shirt on or whatever. He's still passed out after Accept. The lights go on. They prepare the stage. There's a fire-breathing dragon and all these lasers. It was awesome. And after the concert, we'd always hang out a bit and just kind of, let the crowd go. We don't get caught up in traffic. We'll stay there until so the guys were coming around the security. So they woke this guy up, and he had missed the concert, and he was freaking out. He puked on himself, and like he was. They had to grab a hold of him and escort him out because he'd missed the show. I remember going, "No, you got to have him back." Like, dude, you're a booner. You got ossified drunk. What do you expect? Yeah, you missed both bands. You need to bring it down a notch. Okay. What is this? This is another one that's so faded. I don't even know. I don't even know what this is. I can't even read it. Who knows? I don't know. Let's see here. October 17th, 1986. 38 special. So, again, weekends, what's going on? Oh, and Bon Jovi opened the show. Bon Jovi opened for 38 special. And I remember this show. You know what? Bon Jovi were pretty good. They didn't have a stage show. This was like maybe their first tour. I don't even know if I'd known about Bon Jovi. Maybe I did. Maybe they had Runaway. She's a little runaway. Again, there's nothing else to do. What are we going to do? Go to a concert. 38 Special. And you know what? 38 Special weren't that bad. They had a big show. This is back when 38 Special was like an arena rock band, and they had a big stage and lights and this, that, and the other. But I do remember Bon Jovi playing like they didn't have any kind of stage, just amps and lights, and 38 Special didn't give them much room. And Bon Jovi was just bad, I guess in the prime of his, but good show. I remember that show. I was shocked that I actually liked 38 Special. We were gonna leave, like, no, let's give them a little bit, and we ended up staying. Okay, so, oh wow. Oh, this has got to start. I can't believe I have this. Red Rockers. Emmons Hall, 7:30 to 9. Okay, so at the time, the Red Rocker. At the time, I was living in Mexico, Missouri, like this little town. One of my friends, his brother was in the Red Rockers, and they had been signed, and he was either living in like New Orleans or LA or San Francisco somewhere, and they popped off. They had that song China, which I wasn't into. I wasn't but I'd never met a rock star who, I remember this because, so we're at my friend's house, his brother's coming off the road, and I don't even know why they came to Mexico to play a gig. I guess because he wanted to see his family, and the band were like, fine, well, and I remember it was a big deal. Emmons Hall, I don't even know what that is. So this is the thing. So he gets off they drop him off at my buddy's house, and we're there, like, cause he's like, yeah, you got to meet my brother, he's coming in today. And somehow we were in the backyard or something, and like, hey, he just got here. So we go in, and we went, my friend is running to his, I guess the guy had his older brother had a room, or his old room. And we go in there, and he's not there. And then we're just standing around, like, and we're about to leave. And he comes in, he's like, what are you doing in my room? He freaked out. I'm not shitting you. I think he slapped around my friend. Like, he was just probably one of the worst music experiences I've ever, like, rock and roll douchebaggery kind of, I was like 12 maybe when this happened. And I remember he threw him down, like, don't you get my stuff, that freaking the fuck out. I hadn't seen his brother in forever. His brother worships him. Everybody, total douchebag. I mean, probably one of the worst. Then he goes, there was like, I don't know how many of us there. He threatened us. I remember he grabbed a hold of us, like, man, get your fucking hands off of me, asshole. I'm underage, shit, And his parents had to come in and calm him down. It was just, he was like, oh, hungover, I haven't slept. He was just like ranting like a madman. We all left. Like, dude, what the fuck just happened? So I didn't even go to this. I had a ticket, I was like, you know what? Fuck you. Go fuck yourself, Mr. Red Rocker. You know, who the Red Rockers? Isn't that Sammy Hagar's thing? Who knows? I didn't go. Like, man, I'm not gonna go see. Who cares? I don't like the Red Rockers. He threatened to kick my ass for no reason. Threw a fit. Like, I've seen people throw fits. This is one of the. This actually was the first rock and roll fit I've ever seen. I'd see many more to come. You know, out of the blue, no one's hurting you. You're freaking out. Then later on, I think they stayed the weekend. Later on, another friend of mine, his family had a big dinner party for the Red Rockers, and I was invited. And either he didn't show up or he was there and ignored people. Yeah, that's right. I think he was there, but the other guys at the Red Rockers were cool. Like there was four of them. There was the three, and then people were complaining about this guy. Like he was just moody and standoffish. Like, yeah, whatever, you know. I'm like, dude, wait. Again, he'd already threatened me like 2 days before. You know, I didn't want to have anything to do with that guy. And I told the other Red Rockers, like, dude, this guy, he threatened us. We weren't in his shit. You know, we just happened to look through the house because it was like a 2-story house. There's all these rooms. He's looking for he didn't know he was in the basement, whatever. He comes up and we happen to be standing, we're leaving his room. We weren't trying to, you know, my buddy was excited to see his brother, took a beating for it. And he grabbed a hold of all of it, you know. Yeah, I'm not going to mention names who, yeah, you know. So let's see here. Oh, this is the Star Wars 5/19/99. So yeah, I lived in Hollywood, and a neighbor of mine was a huge Star Wars fan, and he had like spent the night to like get Star Wars tickets for this new. What was the one that came out in '99? Like when they redid the who knows. And so I'm going a little long today. It's all good. He spent the night to get these tickets. And I was like, man, I'm not a Star Wars fan, you know, whatever. And I didn't know him that well. He was a neighbor. We were only friendly because he lived like next door to me in this apartment building. Well, then something happened. He's like, hey, man, I got these tickets. Do you want to go? Like, yeah, I want to go. So it was at the Man's Chinese. It was a premiere. This line stretched like down Hollywood Boulevard, up Orange, all the way to Franklin. I mean, it was just a huge line. People were dressed like Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader and Princess Leia. So yeah, it was in Man's Chinese, which is like a huge theater. So yeah, that's from. Good day. Let's see what we got here. Sisters of Mercy. Oh yeah. Sisters of Mercy. When was this? February 3rd, 1998. Yeah, this was like the month before I went to LA. I had made a film. The graphic artist, the animation guy that I worked with that made the UFO in my film, he was goth, and he thank you for helping. You know, I helped him out. He helped me out. Whatever. He took me to Chicago. This was at the Riviera. We saw Sisters of Mercy. Great show. Sisters of Mercy. I love Sisters of Mercy. By then, though, the guy had like turned his back on goth, and when he came out, it shocked everybody. He had short blonde hair and like a Hawaiian shirt. Like he was just like, you know, go fuck all you. But his band was totally goth. Like, it was great show. I ran into people I knew. I couldn't believe, like, one of our old roadies was there from the Love Engineer days. Like, what are you doing here? I'm here because hey, great. Let's see here. Last but not least. Oh, Kiss. July 2nd, 1996. Kiel, St. Louis. So this was the reunion tour. I think this is like the 5th show on the tour or the 7th show on the tour. Great show. Alice in Chains opened for them. I think this is Alice in Chains' like second to last gig ever. The singer was rough. It was he didn't look that good. He sounded okay, but he looked like Death Warmed Over, man. He wasn't He wasn't. Again, they got fired. The story I heard is he got uh caught in an airport with like syringes or something. I don't know. That's just what I've heard. That's what that you know. It could maybe, perhaps. Let's just say perhaps. Um, I thought there'd be more, but again, this has been through. Just that I even have these is a miracle that I kept all these concert tickets. Um, that was my thing to do as a teenager was go to concerts. It's like again, music was my life. I was starting to play guitar, realizing I wanted to sing. I was in a band by 86, 87. I switched to bass to be in this band. And then I ended up switching to singer because our singer would never show up for rehearsals or gigs. He had stage fright or whatever. We never played a gig with, did we play a gig? Because I ended up singing and playing bass. And I didn't really know. I mean, again, we're a cover band. I remember we did Mr. Crowley, Mr. Crowley. Don't Tell Me You Love Me. Don't Tell Me You Love Me. Just stupid covers that I sang. And people were like, you're awesome, you know. Good times. So I went to concerts. I know that I've got more. I've got probably another package of these. I've seen so many shows, so many bands that I got in a band, and then I'd even see more shows or get free tickets or whatever we'd open for. You know, Levenshire open for like Tool, the Melvins, Prong. These are like club gigs or small theater. Uh, and then we would play like fairgrounds, like on a side stage. And we and granted we're not opening for band, we play on the bill of like a lot of bigger bands. Um, yeah, so ticket stub memories, awesome. Haven't seen those since I was probably in my teens. I went through that. Again, I wanted to do it live and get the reaction fresh. I didn't want to be, think about what I was going to say and just have the memories come popping up, and good times. Again, please like, share, and subscribe. That's the best way to support the channel. Share it on your Facebook, your Instagram, your Twitter. Who knows? Perhaps you will. And if you want to support the channel, the information's in the description for Cash App. My handle is charliegreerpodcast. And for Zelle, it's my email. All that's in the description. I love y'all. Went a little long today. Be blessed. Cheers.